Okay, all of a sudden now we're not a third of the way. We're 30 games into the season, which isn't even 25% through.
Nope.
And the Guardians are still in first place. They still have one of the best records in all of baseball. All of this despite dropping 2 straight series to the Braves and then the Astros.
Yeah.
They're home tonight to start a set against the Angels. Hopefully they get back at it. But look at what's going on here. Kansas City, 19 wins. Detroit, 18 wins. Minnesota's won 10 in a row, despite the fact that 7 of them have come against the White Sox. 17 and 13. 2 questions. Is the AL Central all of a sudden the best division in baseball? And are the Guardians the favorite to win this?
I think by the time the season's over, the AL Central will not be the best division in baseball, but it's much better than it's been.
Yeah.
I think the Guardians are favored right now. I don't know what I haven't looked at the latest odds, but I would make them the favorite. They've got to be aggressive, as we've talked about already in terms of the trades. But the division's better. When I look at Kansas City and Detroit, the difference is they can pitch now.
Right.
And they went different ways. Detroit, it's mostly young guys that they've been building through the system that are finally reaching their peak. And they got 1 veteran in Kenta Maeda. With Kansas City, they went and signed like a bunch of inning eater veteran pitchers. They made a trade late last year that went under the radar. They got a guy named Cole Reagans, who's been fantastic.
Yeah, they're an older staff.
And yes, Seth Lugo has mostly been a reliever in his career, a good solid reliever. They made him a starter. I think his ERA is like 160 so far this season. They just brought in a veteran guys that know how to pitch, and the lineup is solid. They're not great anywhere, and they've got a young closer named, I think it's James MacArthur, who's done a great job, blew his first save and hasn't blown one since. So it's just a nice, balanced team. The division's good.
Yeah.
But I don't think by the end of the year it'll be the best. I still think the AL East will probably be the best when it's all said and done. But the Guardians should win this division. I expect them to, even as well as the Twins and the other teams are playing right now.
I agree almost with everything you said. I don't think it's the best division in baseball. I think they have the worst team in baseball in that division.
Gosh, yes.
And as a result, all the other teams are going to get fat on playing the White Sox.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I figured they'd be pretty bad.
6-25.
I didn't see this coming.
Yeah.
Now they're 3-3 over their last 6. They were 3-22.
Yeah.
Which was bordering on we're in territory here that's, if this was soccer, they'd be relegated.
Yeah.
There's no use for them. But I do think that the division they've got 4 pretty good teams.
Yeah.
I don't think
There's no great team in this division.
There's an all-time horrible team.
Yeah.
And then there's probably 1 pretty good team, and then 3 teams that are just solid.
Yeah.
And so, but I think the American League East is better. I think the National League West. My goodness, when you look at some of the other divisions in baseball, I often say, after all those years in the American League East where they had no chance, it's almost like the baseball god said, put them in a division that they can make some hay in. For all those years, 40 years in a row of doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah. And we need a couple of those innings eaters. Guys.
Yes, they do.
If they can give us some of those innings eaters, we'd be ready to go. And I take a look at it like this. I think the sticks will get better. Manzardo will be up here sooner or later, hopefully. And then you can actually, for once, say the Guardians are leaning on their sticks rather than their pitchers. So at the end of the day, I think they are the best.
So as we sit here beginning of May, they're a plus 150 to win the division. Are you taking that?
I would.
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I still think they got to trade for a pitcher. And by the way, if we get close to the deadline, I know they probably won't do it because he's got a vesting option. I mentioned this on the show the other day. This would get us all excited if they did. If the Astros still stink, I would try to get Justin Verlander.
Yeah.
I know he's owed a ton of money next year if he reaches 140 innings. Sometimes you got to just go for it.
I know that would be the most un-Cleveland Guardians thing to do ever.
I know.
But I with you, my God, excited? Yeah, I'd be thrilled if he was to come to Cleveland. I'm not going to take that bet.
No? Who you betting on then? Twins?
I'm thinking
Royals?
I'm taking the Twins.
Really?
The Twins. Yeah, I hate to say it. I just see that some of the wrinkles are starting to show themselves.
Oh, there's issues
and I'm
there.
very concerned about starting pitching.
Yeah.
And just because they were sellers last year, when they were in it, I have to think they're
I'll
gonna go
lose
the
my
same
mind
way
if they
this
do
year.
that this
I
year.
will too.
I
I
will
won't
go
be
crazy.
happy. All right.